What's up guys, it's me, the Captain. Welcome back to Nerd Harbor. Before we get started really quickly, I would like to introduce everybody to Team Chaos. This is what our audience will be called, and I think it's really cool. We have a team motto, Chaos Forever, and we even have our own logo. This was the logo that was voted for in my community page, so if you want to be a part of future videos, make sure you go check that out. Now, back to the video. Today, I'm going to be determining what Pokemon game is the best by comparing all of the version-exclusive Pokemon. Whichever game has more of the better Pokemon, they will get the official Nerd Harbor seal of quality. I'm going to be using the Pokemon database to compare them, so make sure you go check them out. Link in the description. Do keep in mind that this is based on the design alone, and it's my opinion, but feel free to tell me your favorites in the comments below. There's a lot of Pokemon, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with Gen 1. Kanto, Red and Blue, Indigo League, and Adventures in the Orange Islands. This is definitely the most iconic generation of Pokemon ever, but which is better? Red or Blue? Let's compare. Sandshrew is cuter, and I'm not a huge fan of Ekans, so Blue gets 2 points for Sandshrew and Sandslash. I never liked Bellsprout or its evolutions, so no matter how weird I think Gloom might be, Red still gets 3 points for the Oddish evolution line. I really hate Mankey's design. Vulpix, being as cute as it is, earns a point for Blue, but I am a fan of Primeape, so it beats Ninetales and earns another point for Red. I love Meowth, but mainly because of it being in Team Rocket, but that's the only reason, so without that, I love Growlithe and Arcanine, so Red gets 2 points. Scyther is like the coolest Pokemon of all time, and Pinsir is okay, so that's a point for Red. Electabuzz and Magmar are both really awesome Pokemon, but I'm more of an Electabuzz kind of guy, so that puts Red with 8 points and Blue with 3. So Pokemon Red gets the official Nerd Harbor seal. Next, we have Gen 2. Johto, Gold and Silver, Johto Journeys, Johto League Champions, and Master Quest. Our first comparison is Mankey and Vulpix again. Point for Silver with Vulpix, point for Gold with Primeape. Then they have Growlithe and Meowth again, 2 points for Gold. Next, it's Spinarak and Leddyba. Leddyba is cute, but I actually think Spinarak is cuter. And I think Ariados is much more fitting evolution than Ledian, so that's 2 more points for Gold. Gligar is a pretty weird Pokemon in my opinion, but I really like Delibird, so that's 1 more point for Silver. I think that Phanpy is much better than Teddiursa, but Ursaring is way cooler to me than Donphan. Point for Gold and point for Silver. Mantine is an okay Pokemon, but Skarmory is really cool. That gives Silver 1 last point, putting it at 4, but that's not enough to beat Gold 6. Looks like Gold takes the gold. Third, we have Gen 3. Hoenn, Ruby and Sapphire, Advanced Challenge, Advanced Battle, and Battle Frontier. Lotad and its evolutions are kinda stupid looking to me, and I really love Nuzleaf and Shiftry, so that's 3 points for Ruby. Mawile is a cool Pokemon, but Sableye is one of my favorites, so it takes the point for Sapphire. Zangoose is pretty weird. I mean, so is every Pokemon, but I really don't like Zangoose, so Sapphire gets a point. Solrock is okay, Lunatone is okay. I think I like Lunatone a little bit more. Finally, we have to compare the legendaries. I love Kyogre. I mean, Groudon is really cool, but Kyogre is the definition of legendary. Sapphire gets the Nerd Harbor seal by beating Ruby with 1 point. Gen 4 is next. Sinnoh, Diamond and Pearl, DP, DP Battle Dimension, DP Galactic Battles, and DP Sinnoh League Victors. Cranidos and Shieldon are pretty cool. I'm gonna give Diamond a point for Cranidos and Pearl a point for Shieldon's evolution, Bastiodon. Honchkrow is cool, but Miss Magus gets a point for Pearl because I like it just a bit more than Honchkrow. Stunky and Purugly are pretty sucky Pokemon, but Skuntank and Glameow are decent, so they take home a point for their games respectively. I really hate Slowpoke and Slowbro, so even if Seel and Dugong aren't the best, they get 2 points for Diamond. Just like in Red and Blue, Scyther beats Pinsir and gets a point for Diamond. As much as I may hate Slowpoke and Slowbro,
what are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
I find Slowking's design really comical, so it beats Murkrow and gets a point for Pearl. Scizor is an incredible Pokemon, so right off the bat it earns a point for Diamond. Bagon is really cool, so that's a point for Pearl, but Pupitar and Tyranitar are sick, so they beat Sheldon and Salamence, and earn 2 points for Diamond. Poochyena is my least favorite dog-like Pokemon, and Houndour and Houndoom are really cool, so they get 2 points for Pearl. Aaron is adorable, Lairon is cool, and Aggron is the coolest. Spheal, Celio, and Walrein are okay, but it's Aggron we're talking about, so that's 3 points for Diamond. Kecleon is odd, so Stantler earns a point for Pearl. But now the legendaries. This one was kinda hard, but in the end, I think I like Palkia just a bit more, so that puts Pearl at 9 points and Diamond has 11, so Diamond gets the official Nerd Harbor seal. Then we have Gen 5, Unova, Black and White, BW Rival Destinies, and BW Adventures in New Unova, and what the heck is this title? And BW Adventures in Unova and Beyond. Cottony and Whimsicott are really terrible looking Pokemon, so Petlil and Lilligant take home 2 points for White. Just like Cottony, Solosis, Duosion, and Reuniclus, what the heck is that name, are pretty weird looking Pokemon, so Gothita, Gothorita, and Gothitelle get 3 points for Black. Vullaby and Mandibuzz are okay, but Rufflet is super cute and Braviary is super cool, so that's 2 for White. I love electric types. So, as cool as Tornadus is, Thundurus is going to take home the point for White. I like Caterpie more than Weedle, but I think Kakuna and Beedrill are better than Metapod and Butterfree, so that's 2 points for Black and 1 for White. Misdreavus and Murkrow are both cool, but I like Murkrow just a little bit more. I don't really like Paris and Parasect very much, so Houndour and Houndoom get 2 points for Black. I really hate Shroomish, so Poochyena gets a point for White. But Breloom is one of my favorite grass-type Pokemon, so that's an auto point for Black. I really like Plusle and Minun, but I think I like Minun more because of the ever-so-slight differences between them, so that's 1 more point for White. Volbeat and Illumise are very similar, but I think Illumise looks more cheery, so it gets the edge. Like I said in Diamond and Pearl, Miss Magus is better than Honchkrow, so that's another point for White. But now, the legendaries. I really hate Reshiram.
Reshiram!
Caw-caw! I'm a Reshiram!
And Zekrom looks way cooler, so White gets a final point, and the Nerd Harbor seal. 6th is my favorite generation of all, Gen 6. Kalos, X and Y. XY, XY Kalos Quest, and XYZ. First up, we got Swirlix and Spritzee. With Swirlix and Slurpuff, I couldn't care less, so Y gets 2 points for Spritzee and Aromatisse. I really like Clauncher and Clawitzer, and Skrelp and Dragalge look like sea trash, so X gets 2 points. Staryu is okay, and Shelter is trash. Starmie is okay, and Cloyster is cool. Point for both. Heracross is kind of a blue weak sauce version of Pinsir, so with Pinsir being less blue and weak sauce, it gets a point for X. I've always loved the fossil Pokemon from Red and Blue, but Houndour and Houndoom are decent. But you know I don't like Poochyena and Mightyena, so Y gets 4 points for all the fossils. As cute as Aron may be, and as epic as Aggron may be, Larvitar is cool, and it evolves into a pseudo-legendary. Sorry, Aggron fans. Y gets 3. Lileep and Cradily look like things I drew when I was an infant, but Electrike and Manectric are 2 of my favorites, so they get 2 points for Y. Anorith and Armaldo are really cool, so they get 2 more points for X. Sock beats Throw every day of the week. Point for X. Now, finally, we are at our legendaries. Xerneas versus Yveltal, Blue versus Red, X versus Y, Good versus Evil. It's been a tale told since the beginning of time, and throughout I went with Yveltal because I think it looks cooler. So, Y gets the seal, beating X with 13 points. I forgot that 2 Pokemon can only have Mega Evolutions in certain games when I was first writing the script. So, here's editor me recording now. Mega Charizard Y looks like what Charizard would evolve into if a Pokemon could have 4 evolutions. But Mega Charizard X is way cooler than anything I could ever imagine. Mega Mewtwo Y looks pretty bad. I'm really not a fan of it. But Mega Mewtwo X is really cool. It almost looks like Mewtwo is wearing some sort of alien space armor, which is awesome. But thanks to Mega Charizard and Mewtwo X, Pokemon X gets 2 last points. But that's not enough to take the seal from Y. Oh, and I also forgot that if Y has Heracross and X has Pinsir, then you can't have each other's Mega forms. So now there's more audio for me to record. Mega Heracross is really cool looking. The origin of the name Heracross partly comes from the Greek/Roman god Hercules, and this Mega Evolution makes that name way more fitting. The kid's literally got a 17-pack abs! But Mega Pinsir gets, well, cooler pincers and new wings. This gives it a new flying type addition, which is really sick. So I've gotta give X another point for Mega Pinsir. Then we have Mega Houndoom and come on, where is he? Ah! Hey, we're rolling. Where's Mega Houndoom's competitor? What do you mean they aren't here? They were called today. What's their number? Let me call them. Wait, what? There isn't one? How does it... No, you know what? We're rolling. Come on, places and action. So, none of the fossils got Mega Evolutions, which means that Mega Houndoom had no competitor. So, it obviously gets a point for X. Even with a competitor, it would probably win. The giant skull looks really sick, and I already love Houndoom. Previously in the video, I gave Amistar a point for Y beating Houndoom. That was a mistake. I meant to give it to Houndoom, but in the final score, it doesn't really matter. Just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I really like Houndoom. And finally, we have Mega Aggron versus Mega Tyranitar. Mega Tyranitar looks really cool, with spikes coming out of its sides, making it look like a force to be reckoned with. But Mega Aggron just got a new helmet and a bunch of McDonald's coupons. It looks really fat, and isn't as intimidating as it once was. So, Mega Tyranitar gets 1 final point for Y. That's it, right? I didn't forget anything else? Oh, let's go! I'm finally done! The final score is now X with 11 and Y with 14. Y still gets the seal, but I think this goes to show that either game is still a really good option. Then we have Gen 7, Alola, Sun and Moon, S&M, S&M Ultra Adventures, and S&M Ultra Legends. Alolan Vulpix is very cute, and Alolan Sandslash is really cool looking. That's 1 point for both Sun and Moon. I've always liked Passimian, and Oranguru looks dead on the inside, so that's another point for Sun. Turtonator is kinda cool, but Drampa looks like Argyle's grandpa, if you know what I mean. So... just like Diamond and Pearl, Cranidos beats Shieldon, Bastiodon beats Rampardos. Bam bam, everyone gets a point. Just like Black and White, Cottony and Whimsicott suck. Petlil and Lilligant win 2 points for Moon. Tirtuga and Caracosta are really cool turtle Pokemon, but Archon and Archeops are the stupidest looking birds I've ever seen. So that's 2 points for Sun. Rufflet and Braviary are way better than Volibee and Mandibuzz, so 2 more points for Sun. Buzzwole is a Giga Chad, and Pheromosa isn't a Giga Chad, so that's a point for Sun. Kartana is a piece of paper, so Celesteela gets a point for Moon. But now the legendaries. Lunala is pretty cool, but I really like Solgaleo. So that's 1 last point for Sun, which means that Moon loses with 5 points, and Sun gets the Nerd Harbor seal with 10. 8th is actually the first mainline Pokemon game I ever played. Gen 8, Galar, Sword and Shield, Journeys, Master Journeys, and Ultimate Journeys. Galarian Farfetch'd looks evil, but Galarian Corsola looks dead. point for Sword. Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash are cool to be rainbow unicorns, but I like Galarian Darumaka and Darmanitan for being complete opposites of their original design. 2 points for Sword. Appleton is fat, and Flapple is a dragon, so point for Sword. Sirfetch'd is a warrior, but Cursula is still dead. Point for Sword. Stonjourner is just a bunch of rocks, but Easecu is a penguin that drowned. Point for Sword. Indeedee male looks really weird when compared to Indeedee female. Point for Shield. Like I said in Ruby and Sapphire, Seedot, Nuzleaf, and Shiftry are better than Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo. 3 points for Sword. Sableye is cooler than Mawile. Lunatone is better than Solrock. 2 points for Shield. Basculin is cooler looking in Shield than it is in Sword. Point for Shield. Krogunk and Toxicroak are really sick. Scraggy and Scrafty are kinda weird. 2 points for Shield. Gothita, Gothorita, and Gothitelle are cooler than Solosis, Dulosion, and Reuniclus. 3 points for Sword. Rufflet and Braviary are cooler than Volibee and Mandibuzz. 2 points for Sword. Dino, Zweilous, and Hydreigon are kinda odd, but Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar are really cool. 3 points for Shield. Spritzee and Aromatisse beat Swirlix and Slurpuff. 2 points for Shield. Passimian and Turtonator are better than Oranguru and Drampa. 2 points for Sword. Jangmo-O is cuter than Gumi, but Hakamo-O and Komo-O are really weird, while Sliggoo and Goodra are really cool looking. 1 for Sword, 2 for Shield. Pinsir is cooler than Heracross, Sock is better than Throw, Clauncher and Clawitzer are better than Skrelp and Dragalge. 4 points for Sword. Kabuto is crap, but Kabutops is really cool. Ammonite gets a point for Sword, but Omastar loses to Kabutops, getting a point for Shield. The Gible, Gabite, and Garchomp evolutionary line is the coolest pseudo-legendary evolution line, so it beats Bagon, Shelgon, and Salamence, and gets 3 points for Shield. Now there's a whole bunch of legendaries, which is super cool, but it makes my job way harder. Ho-Oh is really cool, but I like Lugia a whole lot. Latias is red, which I think works better for their color scheme. Kyogre trumps Groudon, Palkia trumps Dialga, Thundurus trumps Tornadus, Zekrom trumps Reshiram, Yveltal trumps Xerneas, and Solgaleo trumps Lunala. That's 7 for Shield and 1 for Sword. So Shield was able to beat Sword by 1 point thanks to the legendaries. So that means it earns the Nerd Harbor seal. And finally is Gen 9, Paldea, Scarlet and Violet, and Pokemon Horizons. The Tauros Blaze breed is what Suko would look like if he was a Pokemon. Point for Scarlet. Armarouge is cool, but Ceruledge is super sick looking, so that's a point for Violet. Bagon is better than Larvitar, but Pupitar and Tyranitar are better than Shelgon and Salamence. 1 for Violet, 2 for Scarlet. Drifloon and Drifblim eat kids. Points go to Miss Drevis and Miss Magus with Violet. Gulpin and Swalot are weird, so Stunky and Skuntank take 2 points for Scarlet. Dreepy, Dracloak, and Dragapult are really cool, and I've already said that Dino, Zweilous, and Hydreigon are really weird. That's 3 points for Violet. Clauncher and Clawitzer are better than Sea Trash, 2 for Violet. Passimian beats Oranguru, Stonjourner beats Easecu, point for Scarlet, point for Violet. Now, time for the Paradox Pokemon. I really don't like Iron Treads, so Great Tusk gets an auto win for Scarlet. Iron Bundle is a really cool version of Delibird, and Screamtail is creepy. Iron Hands is one of my favorites, but Brute Bonnet looks gross. I did want to give Fluttermane the point, but I just love the look of Iron Jugulis. Slitherwing is cool, but Iron Moth is cooler. Iron Thorns is one of the coolest Pokemon I've ever seen, and Sandy Shocks haunts my dreams. Roaring Moon is really cool, but Iron Valiant is a Paradox Pokemon of one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, and it ended up looking so sick. Scarlet gets 1 point, and Violet gets 6. They actually just revealed 2 brand new Paradox Pokemon that I absolutely love. Violet got Iron Leaves, and Scarlet got Walking Wake. I was so jealous of all the Pokemon Scarlet players because I absolutely love the design of Walking Wake. It might be my favorite Paradox Pokemon of all time, so that's a point for Scarlet. But now the legendaries. These legendary Pokemon set the path for the Paradox Pokemon completely. Koraidon looks like an ancient beast that would thrive in caves, and all of Scarlet's Paradox Pokemon are very much like ancient beasts and are very animalistic. Miraidon has a futuristic and technological design, and then all of the Paradox Pokemon are robots. With all of that taken to mind, Miraidon is purple, and that's my favorite color. But besides that, Scarlet has 8 points, but Violet has 17, and gets the official Nerd Harbor seal. So, it looks like the best Pokemon games for you to play, according to the official Nerd Harbor seal that is, are Red, Gold, Sapphire, Diamond, White, Y, Sun, Shield, and Violet. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, make sure to subscribe. Well, that's all for now. Waluigi for Smash. Wait! The real kings of Pokemon games would be... Huh. Wish they still made those. I mean, they could have Pokemon Gray, Z, Void, Fist, and, Fish. Now that we're actually done, Waluigi for Smash, Chaos Forever, I'll see you guys next time.